What do you want to talk about this time?
I'm probably just done.
What are we talking about? I want to talk about fucking what's going on in Afghanistan just a little bit. Just a little bit.
No, I don't want to talk. What are we gonna say?
Well, I don't. The thing is,
what are you supposed to do?
That's exactly what I want to say. That's exactly what I want to say.
You put them in, you pull them out, you put. I don't
you do the hokey pokey, and the Taliban takes over. But like fucking, that's the whole thing that I'm saying is like there is no clean answer, and that's why it's something that I wouldn't even want to fucking talk about because like, what the fuck could I possibly contribute? It sucks dicks that so many people are fucking like. Oh, well, the military is just bad all day long, and clearly they've fucked everything up, and they've hurt, people. Like, cool, I'm sure there's a little bit of that, but I also don't think that fucking... Look at the way that they recruit, You think that these fucking high school kids are out there like, oh, I want to go shoot a brown person today. I'm sure that happens sometimes, but more often than not, it's people in fucking our neck of the woods in poor-ass neighborhoods like us that are taught...
fucking gangs of high school kids that just
yeah.
Say, I want to shoot a brown person. Nope, can't say I've heard of it.
Happens all the time. We went to school with some kids that were like...
topic list?
I'm looking at the topic list, yeah. We're already recording.
I know, it's fine. Fuck it. Look at death. And aging.
You want to do death and aging?
Death and aging sucks.
Yeah, let's talk about it. The point is about the whole thing.
We can start with how people are dying in Afghanistan.
We already have.
They're trying to jump. Yeah, no, I'm saying we can continue to start how we've started, and we can begin that by continuing it.
Yeah.
And all will be right. I saw the pictures of the dudes on the plane, jumping on the plane.
I'm gonna.
Good luck with that.
Well, freaking, what I'm gonna do here?
You can.
I'm just gonna make sure that we're both picking up well.
Well, we didn't do a sound test.
I'm doing it now.
You're actually supposed to do a sound test at the beginning of every episode.
This sounds great. Do you want to listen to this?
No.
All right. Well, it sounds good.
I never want to listen to this until 20 minutes before you're supposed to re-upload it for the final cut, and I'm freaking out.
You just heard it live, folks. We're putting all of this in there. This is the whole thing. So what we've done...
And I'm Ben.
And I'm Forrest. And welcome to the podcast. So I'm just going to tell you, first of all, what we did last episode. We changed so much. We reduced the gains on our microphones, and we had a new setup for the mixer, and it still sounded like the microphone was down my fucking gullet, and I hated it. And so what I'm doing now is we've tweaked things a bunch more, and we found out that the way that the audio is popping up on our computer screen is really tiny, and that's a good thing. That's okay, because it looks like it's not actually registering anything, but that means it's working. And we've got like pop guards now. I ordered those, so we're just trying to go all out and make this better and better. We keep making it worse, and it's like a fucking it's amazing.
I got a table over here now.
Yeah, I put a little end table over there for you. It'll be gone next week, probably. I don't know. We're just changing
My favorite thing about the studio is that every time I come in, it's a little bit different.
Yeah.
And there's always like a new thing.
Well, because
something's been removed.
I spend hours in here trying to make everything right. And
just by yourself.
And there's imperceptible differences. We've stopped doing the video intro because it's so much work for like literally 30 seconds.
They're gonna see that again.
But eventually we're gonna bring it back when we have equipment for it. Whereas things are going really well. Things are going really well and really poorly at the same time. And you're here for it. And thank you for being here for it. We were talking about what's going on in Afghanistan, as you heard, and the whole point that I was trying to make is that there isn't a fucking clean-cut solution, so quit fucking asking for one. Quit coming after veterans and the military and shit like they're fucking in any way, like they did XYZ thing and now it's all fucked. Quit fucking coming after Biden or Trump as if this whole situation is their fucking fault. Like, it's 20 years of
that's fair.
Bullshit.
This is a thing that's been coming, so...
And fucking Biden made a point recently. He did a press conference and he was like, listen, We've given over $1 trillion to their military. We've given them all the best fucking equipment that we possibly can. We've given them all the best training that we possibly can. They have an air force. Yeah, well, that's the thing we did.
Did we, though?
We and a lot of other countries. We're not the only ones here. That's what also confused me. Like, everyone's so pissed off at the U.S. Why aren't you talking about all the other countries that were over there? But, like, we gave their military so much, everything they could possibly have to choose their own destiny.
Well, so how did they fucking, like, have, like, the day we left, how does it...
There was no fight. The Taliban just walked in. We're like, this is our country now. And the military that we fucking have been building for the last 20 years for them was just like, cool. And that was the point that Joe Biden made. And honestly, I hear where he's coming from. I get it. I also think that it was a fucking really shitty point to make, and I don't like it. You can't just fucking be like, it's like saying, someone's just wants to be homeless and we shouldn't even have programs anymore. We can't keep trying to make people, you know what I mean? It's like, fuck you. No, that's not the point. But also, I do understand what he's saying, and I think it's a shitty point, but I don't think it's a bad point. You know what I mean? So like, it is a tangled web of horse shit. It is incredibly painful to see.
You think we gotta go back? Is it time to go back?
Fucking man.
Like on the news already, time to go back to Afghanistan.
It really fucking blows, and I have no idea what the solution is. I do not know.
It's a very horrible situation.
Yeah.
And it like reminds me of what happened, like, well, it's like what frequently happens when we leave a place.
Yeah.
Like, everybody's like, no, don't go because it's going to just get all fucked up again. And it's like, but it'll be fine. We made sure that you guys know how to make it fine with the guns.
With the guns.
And then like, it doesn't happen.
Right.
Why doesn't it happen?
Right.
Why doesn't proxy war work? I don't get it.
Right. And there's, like, that's the thing is that.
But also, we were trying to fight. Like, we for some reason cannot eradicate, like, the Taliban.
We can't get rid of an ideology. Because when when we went over there, the Taliban controlled like
fucking Native Americans.
Yeah, for real. When we went over there, the Taliban controlled like 75. It's a stab to America.
Sorrowful comment.
Right, sorrowful comment.
Sorrowful, to be full of sorrow.
But like
it's not funny, is what I'm trying to say.
Right, as we laugh. The Taliban controlled like 75 or 80% of the country when we went there the first time. Now it's like 95% after we left. And we got it down to like fucking like 15%. And yes, I'm pulling these numbers out of my ass. I'm just talking about the maps that I've seen. And so like it's fucking it blows, and there's a lot that can be said about, the having an occupying force there destabilizes things. There's a lot to be said about power vacuums. There's a lot to be said about what the government that is there did and didn't do, what the military's there did and didn't do, what we did and didn't do. There's a lot to be said about all of this, but there is no single, if we just do this, it'd be better, or if this person hadn't done this thing, it wouldn't be this way. Like, there's just none of that. There's none of that in this situation. It's fucking horseshit. Like, when we talk about, like, billionaires on this podcast, we're like, yeah, billionaires are unethical, blanket statement, cool. But, like, there's not a single thing where you can be like, okay, this is the one cog that needs to be pulled from the machine to make it change. And this is fucking worse than any economical debate, any political debate, any religious debate, any humanitarian debate. It is just people are fucking dying living in horrible ways, and there's no one thing anybody can do. It just blows, man.
It is, and it is, like, a lot bigger than just America. Although it is a lot. There's a lot of America.
There's a lot to say about it with America. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
We're responsible for.
We are very responsible for a lot of problems, but like we also don't carry the whole blame. And like I don't know.
Yeah. So
it's not often that I'm gonna sit here and like say that America doesn't completely suck, but like this situation is too complicated to just say. Yeah, America sucks.
The whole thing just is bad and awful.
Yeah.
And we'll obviously watch the whole story develop as it goes.
Yeah, man.
Along with you all.
Have you seen the I think it's Canadians and the British are over there with yeah, right. I think it's Canadians and the British. They're over there with like just cargo planes, like the army planes they use to transport tanks and shit across the huge planes, and they're just scooping up just people, just packed to the brim with people, and they're just taking them out. And man, I hope they're successful. I hope they can do that a lot more.
Man, what the fuck are those people gonna do?
Would you? And like this isn't a gotcha moral question. This is just genuinely like with your life, if you're willing to talk about it. And I open this question to everybody listening as well. If they brought over, if our government brought over just millions and millions and millions of refugees and they needed a place to be, would you open up your home to a family to chill with you for a little while?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought about this when the Syrian refugee crisis was going on. I think at the very least...
Which we were too young to do anything about anyway.
At the very least, I'm cool with them being here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can agree wholeheartedly. I would love for America to open up the borders and bring in as many Afghanis as possible. If they could fucking drain that country, and so it's just like... It's the Taliban and the 16 civilians that want to be there living under the Taliban, and everybody else comes to America... I would love that. That would be so fucking cool. And personally, I don't have a guest bedroom, but I've got a pretty decent couch, and I could see for a month or two, to get these people on their feet, I could see doing that.
Man, I mean, like,
but I also have a stable income and no kids.
Yeah,
so like
shit ton of kids.
That's what I'm saying. Like I'm not. That's why I wanted to preface this with
If I had a bigger house, it probably wouldn't be as big of a deal.
That's what I'm saying. That's
also,
why
I'd be more likely to take in a family than an individual, but that's because of biases.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like,
what's a family gonna do? Which, ironically, a family is gonna work together to take you out. That's what people don't realize. You gotta watch out for like, oh, look at this family on the side of the road. It's like, careful.
Yeah.
That's a team.
That's a team.
Highly trained pickpockets.
Right. That's why I want to preface this whole...
You should try to help people, but it's fucking complicated.
Right. I want to preface this whole thing, again, by saying, this isn't a gotcha question. This isn't a moral thing. I'm sure there are lots and lots of people that would love to fucking open up their homes, but just can't.
It would be weird if we were, like, putting... I know it's our fault and all. But if we were putting... Afghani people in homes while we also continue to mass deport Hispanic people, and also had the fucking evictions, and continue to have cages.
Oh yeah, for sure,
with kids. Yeah, like I read an article that they're ramping up the deportations and shit even more, and I was just like, okay. It was all like Biden does thing, and I was like, yeah, he does. He does thing, just like almost it's. And that's what I mean when I say, like, I literally did it because I felt like I had to do it. Because I fucking... Obviously, Biden is scum.
It's bad.
Does he wear a suit and go to the White House every day?
Nope.
Then he's probably a piece of shit. Doesn't put two and two together.
He hasn't done, like... What?
It's like you can say, like, yeah, people are like, oh, I know you guys loved Trump. He was so cool. But, like, really, even if you love him, once he goes to the White House and that's his job and he's the president, he's kind of a piece of shit. They all are.
It's hard not to jump in. It's hard to jump into a pig pen and not get your boots dirty.
Yeah, no matter what, he's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
You don't get to be president without being a piece of shit.
It's just, it's hard, man, because, like, yeah, I know I sound like a fucking broken record. I fucking don't like Biden either. He's better than Trump. And but he's better than Trump insofar as like he is just another normal ass politician. He is another shitty politician, and that's the best we could hope for with the situation that we had. He doesn't do anything he said he was going to do during his campaign. He's fucking just another spine, right? He's fucking spineless and lets people walk all over him. Awesome. He doesn't really stand up for anything serious. Yeah. He's just the not Trump that we needed, and it's so fucking lame. And like it sucks that fucking now 2 elections in a row, the American people have been like, hey, Bernie Sanders, we really, really want someone who's very, very progressive leftist.
He can't do another one.
And the fucking DNC
he can't do another one.
And the whole DNC was just like, you don't know what you want. Fuck you.
Twice.
And then both times we got stuck with bullshit. The first time we got fucking Trump, and then the second time we get this fucking spineless old scrotum. And it's just, it really sucks. It really sucks.
Yeah, I mean, like,
but at least we're not in a fucking cult and we can criticize them.
I just hope I can see change before I die.
Right. which is coming pretty soon because climate change fucking
No,
is
no,
happening.
No. We'll live a little bit into that. We're gonna see the start of the climate change.
We'll become fucking underground crab people.
I think we would find a way to still like do streaming services and shit, and people would be all right.
We'd have to.
Underground.
Oh yeah.
Underground internet.
Yeah.
Everything was bad in the caves for 5 years, but once they fixed the internet,
It was all right. And now we all travel in tubes. So death and aging was the thing that we were gonna do this week.
No, death and aging is the thing we've been putting off for a long time.
Yeah, we were gonna do it.
It's
we were
time to die,
It's
Forrest.
time to die, and it's time to talk about dying. That's, you know what though, we've been putting it off, but now it strikes, and that's the whole thing about death and aging is that you don't notice it, and then it strikes, and here it is.
Like, I used the old man filter on TikTok today.
Yeah.
Because my daughter thought it would be funny, and it like didn't change for a bit. It took a while to be like, oh, it is not an old man. Here's where you would look like if you were older, like slightly.
I used the old man filter as well, and it was too real, and now that's all I can see. Excuse me. I'm so yawnsome today.
So aging is fucking horrifying.
I look in the mirror and I'm like, oh, I'm starting to see those haunches that I saw in that filter now.
And it's hilarious. There's so many things about aging, Forrest.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we could talk about the fact that, like, we think young people, like, people younger than us now, as much as you and I, like, try to respect them, a lot of times we look at them and we're going, what the fuck?
Oh, no,
What is going on with these kids?
I'm 29 years old.
What are these kids about?
I'm 29 years old now, and everybody who is, like, 26 or younger is a fucking baby to me.
The first time I heard somebody talking about drip,
oh, yeah.
I was like, is that, like the STD?
You got trichomoniasis? Is that what it is?
Drips?
Got that drip?
So, like, you know, yeah, so we're getting old.
Yeah.
God damn it.
And like the lingo is changing, and that's fun for me because I remember being a kid and we made the lingo, and then I remember being in my early 20s and the lingo was so easy to keep up with, it wasn't a big deal.
It was fun.
And now I'm like, I'm not gonna. I don't care how much I like this taco. I'm not gonna call it bussin'. Okay, I'm not gonna do it. I'm just fucking. I'm old. I'm an old fucking man. Go away. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna I've used the term like something hits different, but I'm not gonna fucking say it do be hitting different though. I'm not gonna do it because I'm a fucking old man and I don't want to.
It would sound really bad.
And that's what gets me is that like when I thought about aging when I was a kid, it was so scary because I was like, oh, I'm not gonna be able to keep up with the lingo. I'm not gonna be able to eat the fucking Snickers bar for every meal. I'm not gonna be able to fucking, sit around and play video games all day long. And now it's not that I'm not able to; it's that I don't fucking want to.
I don't want to do that.
I have other shit that I actually would prefer to do. I've got a script to write for YouTube right now. I don't want to fucking go play any more Skyrim. I don't want to do it.
Well, it doesn't help that they've been trying to make us play Skyrim for 20 years straight.
Did I tell you I'm playing? I brought that up specifically because that is actually the truth of what's going on in my life right now. I've never played Skyrim. I never played it. I sat on my fucking phone in high school and watched other people play it. It was so jealous. And now it's on Xbox Game Pass.
That's weird. You could have just played it. I don't know why you.
I couldn't afford it.
It's like $60.
I didn't have anything that would run it. I had an Xbox 360.
It's on the 360.
Is it really?
Yeah, it was on the 360.
I didn't know anything about anything, but I have it now. I have it on my Xbox One.
Yeah, because of Game Pass. You got all of them, I think.
Yeah.
You can play Morrowind, which is
fucking. That sounds crazy.
Morrowind is really old.
Yeah.
And it shows.
But I'm playing Skyrim now. I'm living my childhood dreams playing Skyrim, and I'm fucking. It's crazy. I'm playing a Blizzard.
It's funny, man. Your childhood dream has become my adult nightmare. When I turn Skyrim on, it's because I don't fucking know why I turned Skyrim on anymore. I think it's because I went ahead and bought it on the Switch for the novelty of having Skyrim on the Switch. And now sometimes I just remember it's there and play it, and I'm like, oh, this sucks.
I just started.
It's a great game. I love it.
It is phenomenal. It's a lot of fun. It's beautiful. The music's great.
You can walk around for a while.
You can walk around for a long time. I'm playing as a Blizzard, business wizard.
You can't be a business wizard. That's my class.
Yeah, I know, but I stole it. I loved it. It was such a good idea.
Bizdar the business wizard.
And I'm playing it. It's so what I'm doing is You know you can pick up everything. You can fucking collect everything. And there's no upper limit to as much shit as you can carry.
Bizarre. Do taxes.
Pokemon. But fucking...
Thunder Smash.
There's no upper limit to the amount of shit you can carry. There's just a limit to like where your stamina kicks in.
Are you gonna tell people about Skyrim?
Yeah, I'm gonna play some. Yeah, a little bit. I'm gonna tell them about a strategy.
Know.
And so like I'm carrying.
I promise you, they know.
I go through every dungeon and I pick up every single fucking thing that can be picked up until my character's just like a slug.
A completely new way to play Skyrim.
And then I dump it all at the entrance to the fucking dungeon so I can fast travel. And then I bop around to every fucking city on the map, back and forth to the dungeon, collecting shit, selling it, collecting shit, and just destroying the economy in every single city. Yeah. And then I spend all of that money on just force upgrading my skills. Yeah. So I'm a business wizard, so I'm like a level 7. But my destruction skill is like level 60.
You need to get, I think you already have it, but you might not. You need to get the DLC so that you can summon the Daedric Merchant, who is a fucking like demon basically, who you can just summon him at any time and barter with him.
That's so perfect.
So when you're in these dungeons, fucking instead of doing all that hopping around, you just call this dude at least once, because I have taken all of his money before, and I had to sleep like for fucking like I don't know,
8 years in the dungeon.
I had to look it up, but I know I slept for a while, and then he's got money again.
Nice.
But yeah, you just fucking summon him every time you want to sell a bunch of fucking bricks off or whatever the fuck you've been picking up, forks and knives.
I love the fact that you can fucking. We're having this awesome fucking video game review conversation from fucking 2009, but like we fucking I love that
they all know too.
Yeah, everybody listening to this has
played it this way.
I'm just a fucking old man, just now getting into the youths games from my youths. I love that when you pause the game during combat to eat and replenish your health, that works. And so someone's like in the middle of swinging their sword, and I imagine just my dude just horking down cheese wheels.
Yeah, it's a meme.
In the middle of the
Forrest, it's a meme.
It probably is.
No, it is. I'm in Elder Scrolls groups. It's already a meme.
Of course it is.
We've already done the shit out of everything that's happening to you. It's so adorable.
I'm laughing at this shit that people have been laughing at for almost 10 years.
Yeah, wait till you play Fallout.
Oh god, I haven't played Fallout yet. I bet it's crazy.
It's a lot like well, it's not like the Outer Worlds, but it's kind of like the Outer Worlds.
Just finished the Outer Worlds not too long ago as well. It was phenomenal. These are all the things that I'm doing instead of my job.
On the way to death.
Yeah. But you know what though, that does tie in I think we've talked about this before, is that like fucking I could work my dick off 24/7, just morning, noon, and night, just working like crazy on every little thing that I've ever wanted to do, everything that I have to do, and I would get a lot of things done, and I would be absolutely miserable, and it would show.
I like how you talked about like not wanting to play video games and then fucking went into like, so I've been playing a lot of Skyrim.
That's why. Is that like I'm an old man and I've played Skyrim for like 5 consecutive hours today.
Yeah, like the Legend of Zelda game, the Skyward Sword that they remastered from the Wii and the Wii U and they put it on the Switch.
Mm-hmm.
Like I never played it.
Yeah.
So I bought it and it's the first time I've ever played it, and to me it's like, I'm like, this is a really good Zelda game, but that's just because it's literally brand new to me.
Yeah.
Like it is all new.
Yeah.
So like even though like yeah, I'm figuring it out and getting through it pretty quick, like which I normally do because I'm fucking 30 years old playing a Zelda game.
Yeah.
And like so you cut through it pretty quick if you've played them all up until now. It's like easy as fuck.
Yeah.
You're not a kid.
You play a Zelda game.
Yeah, you're like, I'm playing a Zelda game. Oh, this is probably a puzzle and it works this way.
Yeah.
So like it's not hard, but it's fun. And I've never seen it before, so I'm like, wow. But like also I can't do that with most things.
This enemy is really large and makes like bull noises and has a charge attack. I bet I need to let him charge at me so he smashes into a wall and we'll be stunned and I can attack his backside. Well, we'll see if that one plays out just like it did in the other 8,000 video games.
Yeah, like I was gonna say, like every video game ever.
Yep.
Yeah,
But
Dark
that's
Souls
the thing,
is
like,
so original.
I've played the shit out of this game for like 5 hours a day. I'm not even close to even beginning to be, like, I've done like the bare minimum, like 2% done with the game. But I'm sitting there just bored out of my mind playing it because I'm like, man, I really wish I was writing a YouTube video right now. And so I'm going to go do that now. And like, and when I was fucking 17, that would have been the next 3 weeks of my life. Just nothing but that. Wake up, play the game till I pass out. Wake up, play the game till I pass out. Eat in front of the game.
That's probably normal though. Like now,
Yeah.
like I do that. I'll still like play a fucking fuck ton of like the Zelda game, but then I also do everything else like a lot more.
Yeah.
Like it's like I haven't beat it.
Yeah.
And normally I would have beaten it by now. I would have beaten it in like 4 days, but instead it's every time I play it, I get some shit done.
Yeah, exactly. And like that's,
I'll play like 3 or 4 hours and then I'll but then I do that once every maybe once a week.
If I had just gotten done with like 3 months of really actual serious hard work, I would binge play this game from start to finish for like 7 days consecutively. That's all I would, because I want to do something else with my mind for a long time.
Yeah, you want to take a break from all that thinking.
And then I'll get to a point, right? And then I'll get to a point where I'm like, I'm kind of sick of playing this and I really wish I was more productive. And then I'll go do that. We talked about this in the depression cycles episode. It's like
depression cycles.
But the whole thing is like, I don't want to
bike, right?
Yeah.
Get on your depression cycle.
It's a tricycle. All 3 wheels are bent. The bell doesn't work.
The seat is just a spike that's like, it's heated. It's a heated spike.
And the only place you can drive it to is to the funeral home to see your dead parents.
They don't call it the seat. They say sit on the heated spike. Don't make a face while you ride it.
It's got tassels. The tassels are
the no more.
Oh, it's gonna make it weird.
What drives you to do all that work, Forrest? Is it the fact that you will someday be a fucking just a dead guy?
Honestly, for real, the thing that drives me.
What do you think about death?
The thing that drives me to do work and the thing that drives me to relax, actually, is remembering death. I think about my death very often, and I think about.
Does it ever wake you up in the middle of the night?
Yeah, absolutely.
Mine does. Like frequently, I wake up in the middle of the night, just like freaking out because I haven't done enough.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing, is that like I freak out that I haven't done enough, but every time I do a bunch of shit, I freak out that I'm not relaxing enough, and so like I'm trying to come to terms with just being happy and working because it feels good, and enjoying video games because it feels good, and exercising because it feels good to be in shape. And even when the exercising doesn't feel good, the reward does. And eating food because it tastes good. And even when it's not the food I want to eat, like healthy food actually is really enjoyable to me. Like I've gotten to the point where I really don't like sweets.
Usually healthy food is like not bad.
It's when you make it right, you know what I mean?
When
and like sweets actually kind of don't taste good anymore because I don't eat them very often. And so like, I'm getting to that point where instead of just riding my ass about everything, I'm just trying to enjoy living the way that I think I should, because that's the way I want to instead of the way I think I should, if that makes sense. Because you just end up shoulding all over yourself, you know what I mean? I should be doing this and I should be doing that, and then you feel like crap.
Pun?
Yeah. And then you feel shame, which you don't get something right and you feel ashamed of it. And here's another one. This isn't a pun, it's an acronym. Shame stands for should have already mastered everything. Every time you do something wrong, every time you aren't good enough for yourself, you feel ashamed of yourself because you're fucking human and you're growing up.
Yeah, but you're gonna fucking die.
Yeah.
And that's what's scary, is that you're gonna die. And when you die, like, the scariest thing for me is that when I die, probably nothing happens.
Yeah.
Which sucks. It's good and bad.
Well, the options are...
It's good because, like, I don't have to deal with all that shit.
I love...
Yeah, like, all the paperwork in the lobby to get into the fucking place with the fucking rules.
I love Plato's apology where he says Socrates is sentenced to death, and he says, he's talking about what's going to happen after he dies. Is it either there's an afterlife, which sounds phenomenal, there's a new adventure await, it's a totally new way to go live, there's nothing to worry about with death, I get to go have fun hanging out with all my peers talking about philosophy for the rest of time, that sounds awesome. Or there isn't an afterlife, which means that death would just be a dreamless sleep, and if I'm honest, I could use the rest. And like that's how I see it, is that like obviously I like living. That's why I'm afraid of dying, is that I enjoy what I'm doing now and I want to continue doing it. I have more shit to do. But at the end of the day, when I die, I'm not going to fucking care because I'll be fucking dead.
Don't you think, though, of all the
I'm not afraid of being dead.
Think of all the shit you want to do that literally only you can do.
Yeah, but when I'm dead, it won't matter to me. The only thing that bothers me...
It's not going to matter to you, I get that.
But the only thing that bothers me is the people that it does matter to.
You need to be bothered now, because you're not going to be able to be bothered later.
Precisely. That's exactly what I'm saying. Is that, like, I enjoy the things that I'm doing on this earth, and I have shit to do. There are people that I think could really benefit from my talents and skills. And so I every day, I get up, the bees make honey, and the plants have to grow, and the foxes have to chase squirrels, and I need to go about the business of being Forrest Valkai. Okay. And so I get up out of bed, and I have to go try to make the world a little bit better.
It's your phenotype.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the thing, is that trying to make the world a better place, having people with enough food and a good science education, that's the extension of my DNA.
Right.
And, like, that's...
Mine is like, even if you're starving, I'm gonna tell a joke.
Yeah.
We'll be funny.
Yeah,
we'll do something
funny.
There's
always time to joke.
Another one bites the dust.
Yeah, precisely. Because the humor is the best defense in the universe.
Next to the fire in the fucking metal oil barrel.
Yeah.
Fucking, you know?
Thinking
about the good old days.
So death isn't a scary thing. It's you know, for me...
No, fuck that. It's still scary.
Mark Twain, I think, said it best. He said, you know, dying at the end of a well-lived life is like going to bed at the end of a hard day's work. You're happy, you're content, you know you did good, and you're cool with it. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. And, like, that's how I would see it. The thing that scares me is that I don't get enough stuff done and people are still suffering, and I'm leaving that unfinished, and that blows. That my family would be hurt and sad. That I don't want that to happen, you know?
That's gonna happen.
But that's gonna happen. Very frequently. Very frequently. Amber and I will, like, you know, reach over and, you know, give, you know, a foot rub or, like, make something sweet or something like that. And, you know, why'd you do this? What's this all about? Because there's going to be a time when I wish I was able to. No matter what. Even if we're not talking about dying, worst case, you know, best case scenario, you're going to go on a trip sometime and I'm not going to see you for a week and I'm going to want to be able to do this and I can't. And then eventually you'll be dead and I'll want to do this and I can't. So, like, at some point...
not while you're on your trip.
At some point, I have to appreciate what I'm at now and just live here because, you know, I'm going to miss this someday, whatever it is. And, like, might as well soak every little bit of happiness out of it that I can. But also, here's the tricky thing, don't spend so much time worrying about whether you're enjoying it enough that you don't actually enjoy it, which is a big problem that I have and I'm trying to fix. But, like,
what if you just can't enjoy it because your life sucks?
Then, you know what? I don't know. That you're gonna have to figure that out.
'Cause then it feels really bad, right? Because when you're in, like, the bad times, like, I know eventually you most likely are gonna get out of the bad times if you don't, like, do something bad, like really bad, or kill yourself or something. But, like, you know, when you're in those bad times, the really fucking bad times, and you're fucking dealing with it, and you're in it, and it sucks, and it feels like it's always gonna be that way until you die. And then it's like, why do all of this to get to that? It's like everything is horrible, awful, bad, nonsense, bullshit, and then at the end, it'll all just stop.
Yep.
So you go through all of that, and then it all just stops. Or you fucking, like, burn forever.
Right. That could be fun, like, apparently. But, like, that's, like, I don't know, man.
Or you, like, go to, I don't know, like, you get, God forbid, you get reincarnated.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a bad one. I think the worst thing that could happen is you gotta go again. That's the scariest thing.
That's incredibly rough. That's incredibly rough.
Oh, you weren't enlightened enough. Yeah, I know that you were born into a village, and after 2 days as an infant, your village was sacked, and you were fucking, like, murdered.
Try harder next time.
But, like, you were pretty angry about it. You're screaming the whole time.
Control yourself. Yeah, but that's that. I don't know, man. Sometimes life does fucking suck.
Like, so obviously there's no afterlife because that doesn't make any sense.
Right. There's no evidence to suggest that there's anything like an afterlife. But, like, even if there was, that's a whole other bag of dicks. But like for me personally right now, I know for sure I have this life. And so it's not always going to be good. Sometimes bad times come along, and those just make you appreciate the good times. I've been in bad times recently.
Yeah, I mean, you have to make the best of it.
Yeah,
obviously.
And like that's something that like I've kind of started seeing a lot is in the last 10 years of my life is like there isn't it's yeah, sometimes things suck and sometimes things are great. You should treat both of those situations the exact same.
See, I mean, that's
You know
cool.
what I mean?
But we're also like we do, because I do want to lump like death. We both of us are kind of impervious to death on some level, where we're just kind of like, well, we've accepted it.
It's all right. Yeah.
It is gonna eventually happen, probably really quick, hopefully, and I won't even see it coming. Hopefully, like fingers crossed. But like, there's the other part that goes with that, which is like, what if you don't die super quick and you live for a long time and you age? Like the aging part is just as terrifying in a lot of ways.
That's actually
because you can lose all sorts of things over the course of a life.
That's precisely what I was gonna say. Is that like I am not afraid of death. I am afraid of the potential process of potential situations in dying.
Right, but you would say you want to have like a full life, right? You want
right.
You want to try to live as long as possible.
Yeah.
You don't want to die in your 30s or
probably
some shit if you can help it.
Probably my biggest fear is dementia.
Dementia is terrifying.
Absolutely terrifying. Yeah. Getting old and losing my mind. Really madness in general, but
any kind of brain fuck up.
Yeah, that is my biggest fear. The idea that anybody at any time could take an ice pick to my fucking eye socket and completely erase who I am as a person.
Well,
all my hopes and dreams.
I don't know if we're like gonna let them do that. I don't think they're allowed to do that anymore.
I hope not. But what I'm saying is,
about a lobotomy?
Yeah.
Like in 1800s lobotomy?
Yeah.
Like fucking...
Well, what I'm saying is that like fucking...
I don't think they do that anymore.
What I'm saying is the brain is incredibly fragile, and like all of my hopes, dreams, ambitions, personality, loves, desires, everything are literally contingent on the structure of a few very, very, very small cells, and anybody could fuck that up for me
with
permanently
an ice pick.
At any time. Yeah. With a hammer, with an ice pick, with a car.
I just got this image of like you're like on an operating table, you're like 90 years old, and I kick the door in, and I'm like, wait, he's just freaking out. And I'm like, don't do the lobotomy. He never wanted a lobotomy. Also, they've been illegal for 100 years.
It's the one thing he didn't want.
Or like vice versa, you start with they've been illegal for 100 years. Also, it was against his final wishes. But mostly, why are you performing a lobotomy at all?
Also, who are you?
And who am I?
Oh shit, I have dementia. But like, even because it's my biggest fear, I know I'm gonna be fun about it. Because like that's how
Not if you fucking have it, bro.
Right? But I mean, like as I'm getting older, I'm gonna pretend like I have it just to make fun of it for myself. If I have grandkids, they're gonna be like, "Hey, Grandpa," I'm like, "And you are."
Yeah, you'll do that, and then one day you'll just be doing that,
and it'll be terrifying.
Everybody will be like, "Ha ha ha, Grandpa," and you're like serious, stone faced, like, "Get out of my house."
Birthany.
Birthany?
Oh.
The fuck are you? What kind of family are you having?
My grandma got dementia as she was dying, and like it was crazy. She lived a crazy life.
I know she was dying, but she got dementia as she was dying.
Yeah, it's like she suffered from dementia in the final.
Okay, because the sentence was like it threw me off.
I don't know how to phrase it. But fucking, my grandma had dementia as she was dying, and in the final years of her life, she fucking...
the thumbnail.
The thumbnail is just like super
like
stoked
a word bubble
dementia.
that just says dementia. You fucking... We're scum. Sorry, tell your touching story. I knew your grandmother. She when I met her, anytime I talked to her, she was a wonderful lady.
Oh, she was a mad woman. She was insane.
I know, but whenever she was around people, she
was very polite.
Pretended to not be insane,
right?
Unless she was in grocery stores, which is the grandmother's trade.
Oh my god. Yeah, no, when she was in grocery stores, especially around various people of various ethnic backgrounds, things got strange. But like that, we'll talk about why that was in a second. And like, but like as she was going downhill towards the end, like she forgot everything. She forgot her parents. She forgot her own life. Like she lived a very full life. She traveled around the world. She was very influential. Yeah. She had a doctorate. She taught.
She's a very intelligent woman.
Incredibly intelligent woman.
It seems like intelligent people struggle even more from it.
And well, the thing is that there's a tremendous amount of research showing that like regular exercise and continuing learning seriously abate dementia. If you break a sweat for like 10-15 minutes a day, the chances of you getting like cognitive decline in your elderly ages like goes down like fucking 80%. It's I don't remember the exact number, but it's an insane number, to the point where like it's appalling to me why anyone wouldn't exercise at least 4 or 5 times a week, maybe 3 or 4.
Because they're just not. You have to get the wake up call, and then also like it's tough. It's tough.
It is tough, but I'm saying that like it's not tough. It's not like a health thing. It's not like I want to lose weight thing. It's a literally just 15 minutes out of the day will stop me from losing my mind.
It'll make everything better.
It's a world.
It literally makes everything better. I'm not doing it right now.
Right.
I'm not exercising like at all.
I'm doing it like maybe 3 or 4 times a week.
That's
like,
better than none.
Like something. I used to be, man. There was a time in my life where
you kind of have to do it every fucking day.
Yeah.
And that's stupid.
And just do it.
That's stupid. That's why it's hard for people.
There was a time in my life where I ran at least a mile a day every single day. There was a time in my life where I did literally nothing for months. And there's been lots and lots of middles, like whatevers. And like I find that the more often I just force myself to get up and just make a habit out of just getting up and doing something, I refuse to go to bed until I have sweated today. It's the end of the day. I'm exhausted. I hate everything. I'm going to do fucking 20 push-ups before I go to bed. I refuse to sleep before I have done something physically tasking. And like it quickly becomes a situation where like I fucking hate the way I'm doing this. I'm just going to schedule it so I can make it easier. And then you're good. You know what I mean?
Has that worked?
Yeah.
Scheduling your workouts?
Well, I wake up at about 4:30 in the morning. And so like
when did you start that?
Last week. Okay. It's because of grad school. It's not like it's a thing that
No, yeah. I'm sure they know, because just the last episode we were talking about how you go to sleep at fucking
5 in the afternoon. Yeah.
Yeah, so explain that you basically just switched your hours, because you went from 5 until like noon.
Yeah.
And then you would get up.
And now I'm getting up at about 4:30 and going to bed about 9, 10. Yeah.
Flip-flopped.
Yeah, exactly.
It's fine.
It works. But that's just because of what grad school demands of me. And so like, that gives me the time to get a lot of shit done in the morning. And like getting a quick mile run in before I eat breakfast is now something that I can actually reasonably rely on doing. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so like, but that's something that I'm trying to adopt more, because holy shit, the difference it makes for your brain is insane. You know what I mean? Like it's unbelievable. Like and I said, I don't remember the exact numbers. It could be 80%, it could be whatever. But like the actual incidence of dementia, of Alzheimer's, all these different things. Alzheimer's is the most common form of dementia. In people who exercise regularly, just at all, is bonkers. Not exercising regularly is as bad for your body as smoking. It's just, you know what I mean? It's just stupid. And the more I think about it, and again, I'm not on my fucking high horse here. So there have been lots of times
make sure you exercise.
Right. There have been lots and lots of times in my life where I didn't do any exercising for months and months at a time. But like now, the more I think about it, the less I'm able to justify it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, I would love to sit here and fucking play, Skyrim some more. I can take 15 minutes out of my Skyrim. It's not like it's 3 hours I have to drive to the gym and do this and that. I'm going to fucking jog in place and do some push-ups, and I'm going to continue playing Skyrim. And I will stop having dementia.
Did you hear something?
That thump?
Yeah.
That's Roland. He's the demon that lives in the closet.
So everything is okay.
Everything's fine.
All right.
It might be Nanu. We have a Roomba vacuum named Nanu who bops around the house from time to time, and he makes some banging noises.
Vacuums are silly.
Yeah. And that's the podcast. Vacuums are silly.
Bum bum.
But yeah, it's insane. So like that's the thing. Aging is way scarier to me than death.
Have you started yet?
And the decline of my body.
Aging? Yeah, like have you noticed, like what have you got? What are new problems that you have that you didn't have when we first exited high school?
Hemorrhoids.
That sucks.
Yeah.
I've got some kind of like intestinal thing going on that I'm not going to check out for a couple more years.
Probably a good idea.
Yeah.
Can only be good.
And my legs.
Mm.
My fucking legs, man.
Are they just sore?
My legs and my back just constantly hurt no matter what I do or how much exercise I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to have really bad problems with my leg and back because I'm 6'2" and I grew really fast in junior high.
Yeah.
And I used to have really bad problems with my legs and back. And now I still need to like stretch them out pretty regularly.
Yeah, like I have to exercise my legs and stretch my back and shit or I'll die.
Yeah. But like it's just I don't know, man. It's not
That's one thing, like my back seized one time because I got some injury at work and then like a few years later it seized on me and I was on the floor for like 16 hours. It was the most terrifying thing that ever happened to me. And then the waking up in the middle of the night got really bad for a couple months.
I imagine so, yeah.
Yeah, because I would just wake up in the middle of the night and all I could think about was like I would just wake up thinking about like what if your back goes out and you can't go to work?
Mm-hmm. What are you gonna do now?
Like, do you kill yourself so you're not a financial burden?
Yeah.
What do you do?
Fuck, man.
I was like, I don't have insurance for that.
Yeah.
I don't have money for that. I can't afford that. Nobody can afford that.
It's fucking rough, man.
That's another thing that's terrifying is I'm like, I feel like our generation is looking at aging and being like, oh, I don't know if I can afford that.
Exactly. I can't afford teeth. Fuck it. Is what it is. Like, I've got fucking like I have some musculoskeletal issues. I have carpal tunnel because I used to box. Well, I would call it boxing. I used to get into stupid ass fist fights in parking garages as a kid quite a bit, and I used to punch punching bags a long time. And I never wrapped my wrists or wore gloves or anything because those are for pussies. And now, like, fucking at least 1 week out of every month, if I bend my wrist and put pressure on it, I want to fucking shoot myself. It hurts so bad. And so, like,
that was stupid.
Yeah, that's really dumb that I've done that to my body.
Is that when you guys were like trying to get me to go to like your little like fight club?
Yeah, because I wanted you to participate. It was fun.
Yeah, but then I'd have carpal tunnel.
Yeah, so glad you didn't. But yeah,
I don't remember what I was doing.
Not getting punched in a fucking apartment complex courtyard like I was. So good for you. Yeah. But fucking like that's the what was I saying? Right, that like I've got that going on.
Punched your way to old people problems.
I've got some random issues here and there. I get some back problems and some leg problems because I'm real long. I get headaches. I have really bad insomnia. I have a problem.
I have terrible insomnia. It's my worst favorite trait.
Yeah.
Because what'll happen is I'll get insomnia, and so it'll be 2 a.m, and I just start working on something, and I come up with something really amazing. Every time.
Yep.
But then the rest of my life suffers.
Yep, exactly. I do my best pacing at like fucking 2 a.m. Like I'll start pacing around the house and put on some compelling music, and I'll come up with great lesson plans. And great ideas. What
happens is it's almost like you're drunk.
Yeah.
Because your inhibition goes away because you're so fucking tired. Mm-hmm. But you're like fighting the sleep, so it's like being it's like being on some sort of drug.
Yeah.
And so you just slip in and out of flow state as much as you fucking want to.
That's how we used to do it in high school. We used to hang out at all hours of the morning because rather than do drugs, we could just get really sleepy and then everything was funny. Like that's, you know what I mean? Like I have a million memories of that.
That's also how a bunch of other dumb shit started too, though.
Yeah.
And also not dumb shit, like fucking trying to make a fucking nonprofit and like.
That was where it started. Like exhausted in the middle of the night. Like fucking, I bet we could do some shit.
Yeah.
And some stuff.
I think all that stuff we did though, like that staying up all the time and then going to school and doing that over and over and over again. Do you think we fucked our brains up?
Yes.
Okay.
Also, there is neuroscience research that shows that like growing up in poverty the way we did, you have constant heightened levels of like cortisol, stress hormones.
It's gonna be on the podcast.
The stomach gurgles.
Yeah.
Go get some Taco Bell after this. Make it even worse.
It's fine.
But
I apologize if it's noticeable. I'm really sorry. Something's going on.
The constant high levels of cortisol does actually structurally change your brain, specifically in your frontal lobe, which is in your prefrontal cortex specifically.
I was thinking about cortisol earlier when we were talking about exercise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so in your prefrontal cortex, which is the place where you do like decision making, logical thinking, reasoning, consequences, thinking about consequences, and like and things like consequences. That's all in your prefrontal cortex, and that part of your brain atrophies when you are subjected to tremendous amounts of cortisol, especially when you're a kid. Growing up in poverty literally did change the shape of our brains so that we are less concerned about the outcome of our actions. We're just very passionate and impulsive and fiery right now, and like we make dumb decisions sometimes.
But we always channel it into like we could always at least be like, well, our road to hell was paved with good intentions.
Exactly.
So like, how do we fucking spin it that way? I don't know.
we got screw it, let's do it brain, but also we're just fine young chaps that try to make the world better.
I guess. It's terrifying when you think about it, though. So that's like permanent, damage.
Yeah.
That we've suffered. And it also makes me wonder, like, that's another thing, too, like, that's scary about aging is, like, what are the health consequences I'm going to have for things that happened to me when I was, like, fucking 4?
What?
Or in the womb.
Brain damage, also fucking, when you see, so as you see some old lady, we were talking about my grandma and how when she was at the store,
yeah, some old lady like my grandma,
when she was at the store. So here's a real story. There's an Asian market in the town where I grew up.
That's a great one.
It's just called Asian Mart. It's awesome. And my family went there all the time because they have phenomenal prices, really cool foods from all across Asia, like amazing stuff. And so we went there one time with my grandma, big mistake, and this woman walks up who is, I think she was Korean, she said, I don't remember, but like she's very clearly Asian, and she is very heavy-chested. She had large boobs. And my grandma, apropos of nothing, just told this woman, you really don't see a lot of Orientals with big tits like you. And fucking like, Jesus Christ, Grandma, don't do that. That's messed up.
Don't do that.
That's not how you talk to people. And like, but that's, what happens with old people is they'll say whatever the fuck. And you hear a lot, you walk in the room and your grandma's like, that dress is fucking ugly. And you're like, oh, this is just grandma being herself. She's so old. She doesn't care anymore. She doesn't care what people think anymore. She's just able to say whatever's on her mind. That's not actually the case. When you get old and your brain starts to break down,
you stop giving a fuck.
The first thing to go is the substantia nigra, which is the part of your brain that does like what?
Which part of the brain?
Substantia nigra. It literally means black stuff. In Latin.
It didn't get better.
No. Yeah. It's the part of your brain that's responsible for like. It's the executive function over motor control, basically.
Hold on. That means when they named it, they like fucking smashed some dude's head open and they were like, what should we call this part? And they were like, oh, they found just like a bit of black stuff.
And they're like, we're going to call it the black stuff. It's not actually black. It's just darker. It's really dark.
Yeah, they were, as close as they could get. Yeah. Everything was black and white, monochrome.
A lot of your brain is called gray matter, white matter, and black stuff. You'd be surprised. Like, seriously.
No, I'm not. I'm never surprised when anatomy is hilarious.
Yeah. Oh, I can go on about anatomy.
Like, shit, they were. You have to remember that we started poking around a long time ago. Like, this is the dangly fajangly. What does it do? I don't know. It inflates every like 10 seconds. I don't. And if you pop it, nothing happens.
When you do pull-ups, there's the big broad muscle in your back. It is the widest muscle in your back. It's called latissimus dorsi. Mm-hmm. You know what latissimus dorsi means in Latin?
What?
Broadest in the back. And that's a lot of shit. A lot of shit in anatomy is very hilarious. Cut and dry, very plain. And there's a lot of puns. Anyway, the whole thing is, so the first thing that goes in your brain is the substantia nigra, which is over executive function, over motor control. That's why old people get the shakes. Mm-hmm. Is because this thing that tells that like kind of a how do you say, like reins in motor function and like makes it make sense. It's not there anymore. The second thing to start breaking down is that frontal lobe, which is all about, like I said, consequences, action, thinking about your actions before you do them, thinking about your words before you say them, social norms, all of that. So, your grandma saying horrible racist shit, she's not actually racist. That's just the things that are in everybody's brains.
No, grandma's racist.
Right? That she no longer has the brain power to control. So it just flies out of her mouth because it passed through her mind, and the part of her brain that's like, don't actually say that though, isn't there anymore.
Yeah.
Because everybody thinks fucked up things all the time. Everybody thinks horrible, suicidal, homicidal, racist, sexist, horrible. Everybody thinks horrible shit all the time. And if you say you don't, you're a fucking liar. But the second thing that you think...
Forrest is fucking outing himself right now as a horrible person.
Right?
It's like, Forrest, I hate to tell you, we're not all just walking around constantly like thinking the N-word. You need to chill out.
The first thing that you think is just your brain being your brain. The second thing you thinking, oh, that's fucked up, I shouldn't think that,
yeah.
That's your actual personality. And that breaks down when you get old, and that's terrifying. So when Grandma says, hey, your dress is ugly when you walk in the room, it's not, oh, Grandma's just being herself. Yeah, no, it's the brain damage talking.
Just
that's
remember
what
the grandma that you love has been gone for several years.
She's decaying. There's a protein buildup over her brain, and she doesn't remember how to be herself.
Okay, and that's sad, right? Grandma decaying mentally and getting weird is sad. You know what's way worse?
What?
The fucking thought that someday I might be decaying and going through it.
Oh, it's horrifying.
There's an album, I gotta remember what it's called. It's fucking called, like, I think it's called Everywhere. It's like Everywhere. It's like Everywhere and Nowhere at the end of something at the edge of the universe or some shit like that. But the whole album is like it's a musical concept album. Mm-hmm. And it's about it's like the stages of dementia.
Is it the one with like the old timey music that slowly gets weirder and weirder until it's just like static?
Weirder and weirder until it's just
and it's like 3 hours long.
Yes,
I know that I've listened to it.
Did you listen to the whole thing?
I listened to
I haven't listened to the entire thing like all the way through from start to finish, but I've jumped around it.
Yeah, neither have I, but I've listened to like bits in each section to hear the differences, and it is fucking horrifying. And
Everywhere at the End of Time.
It actually nightmares isn't the right word, but like it keeps me up at night thinking about
the Caretaker, Everywhere at the End of Time, stages 1 through 6 complete. It's 6 hours and 30 minutes long. And the whole thing is basically, it does like, I've listened, it starts off like, you know, kind of like old timey, like big band jazz sound, you know, it's like good swinging stuff.
Yeah.
But it sounds like it's kind of far away.
Yeah.
And then it just fucking gets more and more like depressing.
And fucked up, and it devolves, and there's like static in it, and it's like a radio shifting
and
stations
when I listen to it, I just feel like if that's even 5% of what it feels like. Like, if that's even 5%, I don't want to go through that, man.
Yep.
And that's what scares me the most about death. And I think we really, like, fucking nailed it here. Is that, like, it's with aging, because, yeah, eventually I'm going to die. And it's like, okay, am I going to be a fucking, like a shell before that happens? Mm-hmm. Am I going to be just a husk of my former self? Like, my kids come up and they try to show me a picture of something that used to bring me joy, and I just, like, take a duty on it? It's like my fucking brain said that was the right decision.
In that album on YouTube, again, it's called The Caretaker, Everywhere at the End of Time, stages 1 through 6 complete. You can look it up. And in the description, they've got the stages. They've described them. And so...
Yeah. You can actually go through them.
Stage 1, here we experience the first signs of memory loss. This stage is like a beautiful daydream, the glory of old age and recollection, the last of the great days. Immediately, that is such a cutting, the last of the great days, and you know there's more days, and that's
right. Isn't art amazing?
The second stage is the self-realization and awareness that something is wrong, with a refusal to accept that. The effort is made to remember, so memories can be more long form, little more deterioration in quality, overall personal mood is generally lower, at a point before confusion starts setting in. Refusal to accept. That's my nightmare right there, is recognizing that something's wrong when you just can't accept it. And like that alone is my nightmare. Stage 3, some of the last coherent memories before confusion fully rolls in and the gray mists form and fade away. Finest moments have been remembered. The musical flow in places is more confused and tangled. As we progress, some singular memories become more disturbed, isolated, broken, and distant. These
Yeah.
are the final embers of awareness before we enter the post-awareness stages.
And from what I've like the half of it I've listened to and the ends I've jumped to a little bit, and the reviews and stuff I've seen about it, like I will say I know it sounds ridiculous, but like if you actually go and like listen to this all the way through from start to finish, like do be careful and take a break if you feel like you need to.
Yeah.
Like if you feel like you're getting depressed,
It's on you. That's good.
it's part of it.
You should be.
Yeah, but you can go ahead and like go grab a glass of ice water or something. Like don't, I'm not saying like, oh, everybody's weak and this music will make you kill yourself, but like it's music can alter moods.
Yeah.
And talk to you.
Yeah.
And it can pick a gun up and load it too.
Yeah.
That's what Eminem asked. That's the question Eminem put.
Stage 4 is where serenity and the ability to recall singular memories gives ways to confusion and horror. It's the beginning of an eventual process where all memories begin to become more and more fluid through entanglements, repetition, and rupture. Stage 5, confusions and horror. More extreme entanglements, repetition, and rupture give way to calmer moments. The unfamiliar may sound and feel familiar. Time is often spent only in the moment, leading to isolation. And then stage 6 is completely without description. It's like just the idea of just like realizing that you're forgetting and then forgetting that you've forgotten is the most genuinely horrifying thing that I can think of. Yeah. And like I said, my grandma lived a very full, happy life, and by the end of it, she barely knew who anybody was around her or who she was. And like certain things were able to bring her back, but like
for like a second,
for a minute, yeah.
Like we're dealing with it right now with somebody in our family, and it's like it's
horrible. It's absolutely horrible for everybody.
It's insane. And he also still has a lot of like executive control right now over his own life. And it's terrifying because like I really don't want to take that away, but like you have to.
You know what?
Because he cannot take care of himself anymore.
So we're probably going to talk more in a minute. Oh shit, we're actually overtime. We're past an hour.
That's fine. They can.
Yeah, we'll wrap up real quick.
Death is scary.
I will say this. Like I said, death as it isn't scary. Dying can be scary.
Yeah, like
but
if it hurts.
Mental deterioration is way scarier to me than physical deterioration. And I have asked my fiance this. I have given her this instruction. I have given this instruction to one of my other best friends. I'm giving you this. I'm asking you this. This is sincere. This is a very real. Yeah. No, that's actually what I'm asking.
No, I
you.
won't do it.
No, I'm just telling you. Like
not until all the fucking contracts go through for this like next season.
I'm making a genuine request publicly here, as I've made this request to my fiance and my other best friend. If I've lost it, man, I don't want to live that way.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be around.
You might be if you are. If you are,
it's not gonna be my problem.
I'm asking you to take me out.
There will be somebody else around to take you out.
Somebody fucking
somebody
don't.
who's more into that thing and that kind of thing, taking somebody out.
That's everybody. If you get any choice in this life, when you check out has got to be the one you get to make. You know what I mean? And like,
that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
What do you mean?
You're not going to get that choice.
Well, most people don't, but I'm saying if you get a choice at all.
If you do get a choice, take it, I guess. But that just sounds like everybody, jump off early before it gets really bad.
If you could choose how you die and when you die, would you not?
Yeah, this isn't, you're like, we need to wrap up, and what we've done is open up another can of worms.
Are we going to continue this next week?
Because
we can.
The hardest thing we could ever, or I gotta make it a two-parter.
We can make it a two-parter.
We might have to because of how long we've been talking about it. We were
got to bitching about Afghanistan in the beginning. We should have been talking about when I need you to kill me.
I don't want to do that.
You don't have to. I'm telling you.
Somebody else will do it.
Somebody
will take care of it.
Because like you can't even give me a gun to do it myself because if I'm dementiaed out, I might hurt somebody else. That's not ethical to give it to me. We could
definitely debate the ethics of like assisted suicide versus, especially, but then again, assisted suicide has like, Because it's like really easy to argue that if somebody is like terminally ill and they're just suffering, they should be allowed to like do what they want.
Yeah.
Most likely. If there's no hope for them.
Yeah.
And we're just keeping them alive because we have the technology to keep them alive until they die. Which I do have to kind of wonder, like, sometimes, what are we keeping people alive for?
Precisely. Do they want it?
Does
anybody
I know
want
we're not the only ones that have thought that up or made that argument, but like it is an interesting debate.
It's something that we should talk about because, like, honestly, I think that would be a really cool one for next week because, like, I don't even want to start talking about why I want to talk about it because we'll be here for 45 more minutes. So, like, next week, let's talk about.
We're gonna come back to this and talk some more. I just want to finish with fucking like I want to finish with fucking. I want to finish with fucking, and I want to finish from fucking. No, but like I think
I'm here because of fucking. I'm gonna go out with fucking.
It's scary.
Yeah.
And we're older too, so we're at a point in our lives when like a lot of people around us are starting to just like go at different times. And, like, different things are happening, and fucking Trevor Moore died.
Yeah, I was about to bring people that I look up to die now, and like that's fucking crazy.
Yeah, like a lot.
Yeah.
And like, eventually it will be us.
It will be.
And will I have accomplished anything I want to? And like, does it matter? Obviously not, right? In the grand scheme of things, nothing matters, which is both beautiful and fucking horrifying.
It's liberating and depressing at the same time.
Because we're so tiny.
Yeah.
We're so fucking tiny, guys.
Yeah, we are.
But like, you do only have one life, so you want to make it worth it.
You want to do some good shit, but you don't want to do everything because you can, but you do want to not do things that you do. You do want to not do the things that you do want to do because you can. What? Just have fun. Enjoy the cookies.
What's really important, and I know that anybody who's ever lost anybody will agree with this, is you should do your best with whatever tools you've been given to try to do something that actually makes you happy.
Yeah.
Number one. Number two, you should work to become better at dealing with other people because we're all fucked up because we had horrible parents and their parents were horrible and their parents were horrible. And it's always been like that. Mm-hmm. And it'll be like that for a while still. So you have to do work now. Every single one of us, especially if you're a fucking parent, you have work to do. You got to fix yourself.
But also make sure that like you're not putting up with people just for the sake of doing it. No.
But what I'm saying is it's number two. Number one, what was the first thing I said? I already forgot.
Try to be happy.
Try to do what makes you happy. Number two, try to treat other people with dignity and respect because they're going to die and you're going to die.
Everyone you meet is going through a tough battle.
Everybody is going to die. So be nice to them because they might die.
Yeah. They're gonna sooner than you think, and you will too.
And then number three, we got to do something about global warming, guys.
Like, for real.
It's fucking bad. And like, you think Corona's bad? We don't stop global warming, we're going to get some sort of fucking mutant dinosaur virus.
It's going to be incredibly hard.
It's going to be a very large bacteria. I don't know what that's about, where they find like large bacteria and they put that in the news and they're like, look, they found giant bacteria. And I'm like, what does this mean?
They're cool.
What does it mean? Are they bigger cells?
Yeah, it's just a single cell that's really big.
Why is it so big?
Because that's how it evolved. That's how it lives. It's found a niche. You know what the biggest single cell is that you can fucking touch and play with?
I think you've told me this before. What is it?
An ostrich egg.
Yeah, okay. That's
an egg is a single cell.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Holy shit. It is.
Yeah.
It absolutely is.
Yeah.
Holy shit. That's cool. That's cool. Science.
And with that, thanks so much for tuning in. Next week we'll talk about more depressing shit. This has been a really cool, uncomfortable episode. I like this one.
Yeah, I want to come back and talk more about. Like dying and mental problems, and I want to hit more on the body too because we didn't. I want to hit on the body,
and I also
because like the shit that can go wrong with your body, we have both personally witnessed.
Precisely, yeah, and I also want to talk about enjoying life more and about.
I don't want to push anything crazy, but it's bad.
Yeah, no,
some of the things that can happen are bad.
Very bad, very bad. But I also want to talk about like just enjoying life and coming to terms with death and living now because I think that's a really cool thing that people need to talk about more. Don't be puritanical about death. the same way that you shouldn't be puritanical about sex.
And
Talk about it and allow yourself to talk about it and allow yourself to be afraid and allow yourself to think and allow yourself to process and allow yourself to grieve. That's the best advice I can give, is grieve yourself and allow yourself to have those feelings.
Yeah, it's okay to feel bad about the fact that you're going to be gone one
and
day.
Just deal with it and don't try to shove it off and avoid it so you're terrified when it's happening. Just allow yourself to feel things is what I would say.
Allow it.
And with that, now actually we should wrap up because we're like 10 minutes over time. It's going to cut off all weird. So thank you so much for tuning in. I seriously appreciate you being here. Let us know how the audio quality was because we're trying different stuff every week.
Don't.
You guys have been incredibly patient and kind with us in the comments, and you've been incredibly helpful, giving us ideas and advice.
No.
So we really appreciate you being there, and we appreciate you putting up with us.
No.
My name's Forrest.
And I'm Ben.
And we will see you
next time. In a week.
Next week.
7 days. 7 day-a-roonies.
Daedalus. The Daedra.
What we call the Daedra. Dramora. Dramora merchant, dude. You sell him shit. You get so much money, you don't even have to leave the dungeon. I'm always over encumbered. Because I pick up everything. Because I need more.
That's the life of a business wizard.
Bizdar the business wizard. So what race did you pick?
I don't remember. Brenorian or something?
No, you should always go as a fucking Argonian or a Khajiit, because then people are the most racist to you.
I thought they'd be racist if I was a dark elf too.
They're pretty racist, because in Skyrim the Nords are racist against dark elves, but also if you're a lizard man, people are really racist.
Oh, I'll play lizard man.
They're like, what are you doing, fucking scale boy?
I went back and reran Dragon Age Inquisition as a Gennari because I wanted everybody to be racist towards me, and it's fucking great. Like, they really... Dragon Age is the best fucking RPG series of our generation.
Escapism, right? Like, I want to go play a game and see what it's like when people hate me just because of how
Because then I can beat them to death with my large horn hammer.
It's ridiculous.
Bye, everybody.
Don't say that. You're just going to fade out in the middle of that somewhere. Nobody will even know.
No, I'm going to do it now.